Hello everyone, my name is Jacob as always, and I'm the advocate and head coach for the reigning, defending, undisputed APA champions, the Green Bay Pikachus, and we are ready to keep the title back in title town of Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's right, it's where it belongs, that's for darn sure. But anyway, today is the team builder portion of APA week number 1, where we are facing the Silver Smasher, the head coach of the, oh my lord, I gotta check who I'm facing. I don't remember the team name at all. I'm having a complete brain fart. The Flordian Typhlosions, I believe his team name is, but his link to his Twitter, if he has one, I think he has got one, and his YouTube will be in the description down below, so make sure you check out that. From what I've seen so far, he's a pretty cool guy. He's pretty chill. He's not like, oh, I gotta win or it's the end of the world, like we are. Like, we have to win or we are going to lose so much confidence and go on tilt. I'm just kidding. We don't have to win, but we want to win because we want to keep the title where it belongs in Green Bay. So, anyway, let's get started with the team analysis for week number 1 of APA Wi-Fi season number 3 in our quest to remain APA champions. Anyway, let's go over our 11 Pokemon, his 11 Pokemon, and the Z users, and why we're bringing the 6th that we're bringing today, because we're going to be battling very shortly. He hasn't messaged me yet, and yeah, it's New Year's Eve, so I don't know where. I know he's on the East Coast, so I don't know. I don't think he'd be doing anything like drinking. I don't know if he's even on drinking age, but I don't know if he'd be doing any of that stuff. But let's hope he talks to me soon, because we were supposed to battle yesterday being Saturday, but we weren't able to because he had some things going on. Anyway, let's get started. Our 11 Pokemon, first and foremost, is we have Zygarde 50%, Mega Manectric, Fortress, Azalf, Jellicent, Nihilego, Emboar, Licky Licky, Alolan Dugtrio, Murkrow, and Tapu Bulu. His 11 Pokemon, our Z users are Zygarde and Tapu Bulu. His 11 Pokemon are Garchomp, Mega Gallade, Shaman, Crobat, Snorlax, Selgor, Feraligatr, Kofragigas, Carbink, Rotom Frost, and Heatran. His Z users are Heatran and Garchomp. So, a few things to note right away is, my team doesn't really particularly like Dragon Dance Feraligatr, so we need to be very careful in how we play around that. I just realized, don't tell me that this is bad on my part, but were we able to outspeed a +1 Jolly Feraligatr with our Manectric? Because I'm going to be pretty upset if we were. Let me just do this really quick, so it would be 1, 2 times 1. No, we weren't able to outspeed even if we ran Timid, so I'm okay with running what we ran with Mega Manectric now, because there's no way we were going to outspeed +1 Gator. Plus, if he's like Dual Dance with Agility, Swords Dance, that could be pretty problematic if I do say so myself, because if he's Agility with Swords Dance, nothing on our team's really, well, no, he'd have to either run Crunch or Ice Punch down in that regard. He'd have to be Dragon Dance to really be a threat, because one of our 2 Pokemon are going to completely beat it. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If he brings Gator, he's got to bring Ice Punch for Tapu Bulu and Crunch for Jellicent, so it is a big threat, so we do need to be careful of that. Another thing is, Toxic Spikes could hurt us if we lose Nihilego. We have to bring Nihilego, because if we don't bring it, we just lose to Toxic Spikes, and I don't want that to happen, because our removal of this game, Murkrow, it isn't really good at all. Like, it's not good, because it could take a hit from Mega Gallade, yeah, but at the same time, Mega Gallade, I don't think it'll run Ice Punch. I think it'll run either one of the 2 stabs, probably Fighting Stab, Ice Punch for Bulu and Zygarde, that means, and then it would probably run Knockoff or Leaf Blade for the Jellicent. So I think that's its set, probably like Swords Dance or Bulk Up. I don't know what else would be. Garchomp I fully anticipate to be Scarf, because he needs an offensive check to Zygarde. His offensive check to Zygarde will probably be Scarf Garchomp. His defensive check to it will probably be Shaman with HP Ice, Leech Seed, Protect, and either Synthesis or Giga Drain or something like that. The issue with that is, like, if I were to bring Fortress, he'd struggle with it. But at the same time, though, if it's Leech Seed, then he'll be able to beat Fortress 1v1 with Leech Seed, Protect, and those kind of shenanigans. And then he might run Seed Flare too. He could go Seed Flare as well. Really depending on what he really wants to do. But yeah, that is also a big threat to our team. And for that reason, I could have brought something like Embor, because the Earth Power shouldn't come this game, because unless he goes full on offensive Shaman, which he could potentially do. But I think having a good defensive check and an offensive check to Zygarde, because if it's offensive Shaman, he doesn't live +1 Adamant, Z Outrage, or Z Devastating Drake from Zygarde. So that is important to note. Basically, we'll get to it. Zygarde, I guess we'll talk about Zygarde first, and then we'll go over the rest of the team. Basically, we're going completely offensive Zygarde here. We have no reason not to, because this Fairy check to this loses to Ground Stab and 1,000 Arrows, and that's Carbink, so that's bad. Heatran had to have to be Shucaberry, but if it's Shucaberry Heatran, he's not gonna be a threat. Cofagrigus potentially could Will-O-Wisp us. We have to whittle it down. The two candidates that I want to use my Z move on would be Cofagrigus and Shaman, depending on what I need to do. If I'm at +2, more than likely he's gonna lose, unless because his priority on his team is, well, let's just say his priority on his team is Water Shuriken Iselgor, and then Shadow Sneak on Mega Glade. That's his two. I think Crobat can Quick Attack. Come on, let's be honest. That's not going to do that much, and he wouldn't bring that. So more than likely, Shadow Sneak on Mega Glade also could come, because Azelf is a big issue to him. He does not have a Dark type. Yes, he does have Heatran, but Azelf can run HP Ground, and that's what we're running. If you didn't see that earlier, so it's also important to note that we can basically spam Psychic versus him. The only thing we really need to watch out for is Pursuit on Snorlax. So that's kind of an issue depending on what it is, but I think we can play around it. I just need to eliminate Snorlax, because that could give me some threat or some fits. We do have some precautions to deal with Snorlax though, so I'm not entirely too worried about it, but it still could be an issue if we let it get out of hand, which I don't want. I'm gonna do my best not to let happen. We are gonna try to do some live recordings, by the way, instead of posts. That way you don't have to like narrate them at all. Gotta drink my mid-afternoon coffee, even though it's like 4:20, so it's more like late afternoon coffee. I just like drinking coffee. But yeah, this set completely wrecks him. We have Extreme Speed. Oh, he also has Aqua Jet on Feraligatr. I forgot about that. But we also have Extreme Speed in case Feraligatr gets out of hand, because more than likely he will not run Aqua Jet here, because he needs the coverage. He needs Ice Punch and Crunch if he brings it to hit Bulu and Jellicent. So he absolutely needs that. But yeah, so there's that. Zygarde is just a really big win con this matchup, and I'm more than likely, in one of my mocks I did with my good buddy Tyler Fanabase, who's also in this league, I didn't bring this in until late game, and then I just swept with it because the team was whittled down, Toxic Spikes were up, we also bring that in with Nihilego. So yeah, this thing is a great late game win con, and I'm not going to bring it in unless I absolutely have to. Like if Gator gets out of control, or if Crobat's chipped or something like that, we can click Extreme Speed and be in a decent position. Next up, let's talk about, I guess, we'll talk about another offensive Pokemon threat to him, is specially offensive Azelf with Twisted Spoon. I was originally on Choice Specs, but after further consideration, I went with Twisted Spoon to just raise Psychic moves, because Psychic moves are so spammable versus his team. And if it's an offensive Heatran, Hidden Bar Ground can almost OHKO it. If it's defensive, especially defensive, it'll be a 2-hit KO unless it's Shucaberry. So I'm not really too worried about this. We're running enough speed for my Glade, and if it's not running Shadow Sneak, this is a pretty good offensive check, not a defensive check or anything like that, obviously. It's an offensive check to it if it's not running Shadow Sneak. Even then, we can, an unboosted Shadow Sneak, we can live, so it's a 2-hit KO obviously, but we can get a really good chunk off with like Psychic or Psyshock, depending on what we see. If he's like more of a bulk up spread, we click Psychic. If he's not bulk up, then we click Psyshock. So we have both of them for that reason, so we can hit as hard as possible pretty much at any given time. Now obviously this can't like switch into Crobat or any, it doesn't switch into anything well at all, but it's just a good lead. It could be a potential lead depending on what he all brings. But I already know what our lead. Speaking of a nuisance to our team is spikes, because we are not bringing hazard removal. I'm stating that right now. Murkrow and Fortress, I just did not like in the matchup, so we're just not going that route. Because if we try to spin with Fortress, it's just he's gonna switch into Kofagrigus. I already can envision it happening, and then we lose all kinds of momentum. We'd have to click Volt Switch, but then spikes are still up, and we have a situation at our hand. So to prevent, yeah, just rocks and Power Ground and then dual stab. Well, not dual stab, but dual... Yeah, I guess it is dual stab because we have 2 stab moves in Psychic and Psych Shock. But anyway, to prevent hazards, and if I see the Pokemon Aselgor being his Spike Stacker, this is our lead. Jellicent is our lead 100% of the time. Now, this is a really whack spread, I know, but I want to be prepared for quite a bit of Pokemon. I'm trying to remember what the speed was for. I think it was just in case he was like creeping a little bit with like his Carbink, I guess, to just try to get like if he was like timid Carbink or something like that, just in case he ran enough just to outspeed like Jellicent. I just want to be prepared that way. If I see Carbink or Selgor, this is my lead. I can taunt Carbink and I can Magic Coat a Selgor, and this is the best measure to prevent hazards from going up on our side, because I can click Magic Coat and then he's gonna have to be the one to try to remove hazards on his end of the field, because if we have spikes up, that'll just help Zygarde sweep, quite honestly. So I'm very happy about that, because the only thing, well, he's got he's a levitating Pokemon in Rotom Frost, and he's got a Crobat, so they won't be affected by spikes, but at the same time I don't care, because Zygarde still destroys them. That's all I'm saying about that. +1 Zygarde will still utterly destroy them. But this is our check to that. It's also our check to Mega Gallade in no fact, because I think Colberary is so obvious of a bring that he'll bring Leaf Blade and try to beat us that way with his Gallade versus our Jellicent. I think he will bring Leaf Blade because we have grassy terrain, and I think because Colberberry is so painfully obvious of a bring on our end that Rindoberry is actually the better bring, because then we can live not in terrain, or maybe I think it's through terrain with this investment. We can live a +2 Leaf Blade with the Rindoberry, unless I have to recalc that really quick, but let me just recalc that really quick because I don't want to be talking on my butt and then go for it in the game. And then we like lose all kinds of momentum, lose our Jellicent, and that'd be really bad. I believe that's what it was. It was either that or it was out of terrain. One of the two. Don't quote me. Alright, so our max HP, Bold, Rindo, Gallade, Mega, Leaf Blade, +2. Oh, yep, I was correct. Okay. A jolly +2 Leaf Blade from Mega Gallade in grassy terrain we can live, which is just absurd, by the way. If it's +1, we'll live after rocks, which is really cool. After 2 Stealth Rock switch-ins, actually, if it's just bulk up. And then we actually have Hex. So I would have loved to run, I would have loved to run Shadow Ball, but I think Hex is better with, actually, with our game plan, because if he's like poisoned or something like that because Toxic Spikes, it's not an OHKO, but it does so much damage, and we have E-Speed with Zygarde to clean up that up if we absolutely need to. But yeah, so there's that. Jellicent's just a real solid Pokemon in this aspect. Like I said, I am running Rindoberry for that reason, because I really think Colberberry is just painfully obvious. I'm gonna check depending on what move he goes for right away. Basically, how I'm going to check this is going into Mega Manectric. This will be my initial switch-in. I got a Mega Evolve. Okay, the priorities of this game is to get Toxic Spikes up with Nihilego, first and foremost, especially if it doesn't bring Crobat. That's my game plan. I need to get Toxic Spikes up as soon as possible if he does not bring Crobat, because that's his way to remove hazards, like that and Rotom Frost. He doesn't have any other way to remove hazards, so if they doesn't bring those two, which I think he should, we'll bring one of them, not both of them. I really think it's important to get that up. And second priority, I really think, is Mega Evolving with Mega Manectric, because that way we get Intimidate as an ability. So this is a potential lead of ours. If he doesn't bring a Selgor, I'm leading this probably 100%. Because if he leads Shaman, I'll click Volt Switch on it. I don't really care. Even if he goes into Garchomp, I also don't care. Because we click Volt Switch and then we can go into Bulu, or we can go into Jellicent on it. Probably Jellicent. At that juncture, he could get Rocks up, and that would be really bad. Well, not really bad for our team. Our team's not even that weak to Rocks this game, so I'm not actually too worried about it. And in general, our team's not even weak to Rocks. We have Murkrow being our only Stealth Rock weak Pokemon on our entire team. So that's pretty cool. Like that doesn't really happen a whole lot to me. Like usually I have some team Pokemon that are weak to like Stealth Rocks and stuff, but like Murkrow's only one. But Murkrow's really not a game changer because we're not gonna be bringing him most weeks anyway. So, but yeah, there's really not much to say about this spread. We're just max special attack to hit as hard as we can because this could be a late game cleaner if his Scarfer's gone, if his other Pokemon aren't there. Like I said, I think he'll bring Scarf Chomp like 100% this game. Then again, it's a good Stealth Rocker too, so he could bring something like Scarfed, I don't know, Rotom Frost potentially, or Heatran even. Scarfed Heatran could potentially come. So there's that. But HPS for Garchomp, Volt Switch for Initiative, Flamethrower for Shaman, just hit it as hard as possible, and then Thunderbolt, because if he lets his Shaman get whittled down, that's not really a good thing. So this could whittle down Shaman, and like I said, I don't really think he's going to have a whole lot for this thing. Like, okay, he's not going to have, Shaman's not really going to be able to hit it that hard, because I think it'll be defensive. It could be Leech Seed, but we can Volt Switch out on that, so I'm not really too worried about that. But yeah, there's that. I mean, Shaman's kind of an issue to our team. My switching essentially is kind of Bulu, and I have to play around, so it could be annoying. That's why I want Toxic Spikes up for it as well. The HP doesn't let me live anything, and it's just like there to help out. Yeah, it's just there to be bulkier and stuff like that. But next up, like I stated, we need Toxic Spikes up this game, and I needed a Scarfer. So basically, what this Nihilego is, it's countering his potential Scarf Garchomp bring. So I basically have max speed, max special attack, like Timid, because I need that for outspeeding. If he's a Jolly Garchomp, which he could run, but he also might not run Jolly Garchomp. But there's no point. The bulk doesn't let me do anything. It doesn't let me live anything in particular, so no point in doing that. Power Gem, Sludge Wave, HPI's Toxic Spikes. Like, yeah, it's weird to, like, somebody last season was like, oh, why are you running Scarfed Rocks? That's weird. I'm like, well, yeah, it is kind of weird, but at the same time, it works, because Nihilego will force switches. Like, more than likely, Heatran could switch into this, or Shaman. Well, not even Shaman. Most likely, Garchomp could switch into this, and I'll get T-Spikes up on the Garchomp switch. And then, yeah, that'll be good. Or Cofagrigus will. Either way, we get our Toxic Spikes up, and then we pivot into, I guess, Mega Manectric on it, because we can't afford. Or, yeah, we'd have to pivot into Mega Manectric, Volt Switch, and then hopefully he'll, like, set up T-Spikes of his own. And we go into Nihilego and remove them, and we can just spam Power Gem from that point forward. So that'll be good. Let's just hope it's not a Calm Mind Cofagrigus with Rest Talk or something like that, because Murkrow isn't a likely bring. And I wouldn't like that very much if it were like that, but we can potentially play around it. We'll figure it out. I don't know. We'll do our best to figure it out. Scarf Nihilego seems pretty solid in this. So now we have 5 Pokemon. I haven't talked about one in particular because the 4 we brought is really weak to Feraligatr. Like, Jellicent really is, because Crunch is definitely coming in Feraligatr if he brings it. So I really, really need... Oh, also for Jellicent, we brought Rindoberry because he probably thinks, oh, well, he's going to bring Colbur Berry for Crunch on Feraligatr, certainly. So we were definitely going to go Leaf Blade in that regard, too, so about his Mega Gallade. So that's why I think he's going to bring Leaf Blade and Gallade as well. So anyway, back to Feraligatr being a threat. So we don't have a very good thing to check often. Oh, that's why, by the way, the speed in the Zygarde is to outspeed Feraligatr. I forgot to state that. That's what the speed is for in Zygarde. I wanted to go a little bit more bulk, but we could not afford it this game, so no bueno for us. Anyway, next up, our check to Gator that we're going to switch into every single time until our Yachi Berry is bursted is Tapu Bulu. because we have enough investment where +2, I think, we can live after rocks. Let me just calc this again for alligator. Alright, Ice Punch, Tapu Bulu. We are careful. Why were we careful again? There's a reason why we were careful. Oh, yeah. This is insane. So Bulu is so bulky that a +2 adamant... Oh, that's not Sheer Force. I don't know why it goes to Torrent on the damage calc. Yeah, so it's like +3. Yeah. So after a +2, after 2 Stealth Rock switch-ins, we live a +2 Adamant, Life Orb, Sheer Force for Alligator's Ice Punch. And we obviously OHKO back with Horn Leech. There's no way it's going to live that. I mean, potentially, I guess it could live if it has a lot of bulk, but it's not going to. I don't think he'll bring it. I don't even know if he'll bring for Alligator, but I have to prepare for it, because if I don't prepare for it, that could be really, really bad for us, and I don't want to not prepare for something just because I don't think it could come. I actually do think he will bring it, because late game, if he plays his cards right, he can win with Feraligatr. He just has to play correctly, and he could win with Feraligatr 100%. So I need to be prepared for that in any way, shape, or form I can. So there's that. But anyway, that is the team for week number 1 of the APA. My name is Jacob, as always, your coach of the Green Bay Pikachus. Signing off. Bye-bye.